Last night, the unthinkable happened. The most significant direct military assault ever launched from Iranian soil crashed onto Israeli territory, reshaping the geopolitical landscape in a matter of hours. What unfolded wasn't a hollow threat, not a diplomatic feint, and certainly not a proxy skirmish. It was a brazen act of open warfare, a retaliatory strike of unprecedented scale, redrawing the lines of engagement in a conflict-ridden region. The onslaught commenced precisely at 2240 local time. An unholy chorus of warning sirens pierced the night in Tel Aviv, Haifa, Ramat Gan, and Ashdod. Israeli radar systems, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of incoming fire, tracked the launch of over 120 ballistic missiles and approximately 70 weaponized drones directly from Iranian territory and the volatile Caspian Sea region. This wasn't a haphazard barrage. It was a meticulously orchestrated attack, a swarm designed to saturate and cripple. Within moments, the sky erupted in a dazzling, desperate dance of interceptor missiles. Israel's vaunted air defense network, Iron Dome, David's Sling, and the long-range Arrow 3 sprang to life, attempting to stem the tide. But the wave was too immense, the attack vectors too numerous. Some projectiles slipped through the defensive net, finding their marks with devastating consequences. In Haifa, a catastrophic explosion ripped through the port area as a missile slammed into a fuel storage tank, turning night into an inferno. At Ramat David Air Base, a critical hub for Israeli air operations, 3 distinct impact points caused extensive damage to hangars and vital logistical infrastructure. Even in the heart of Tel Aviv, 2 missiles evaded interception, inflicting structural damage upon residential zones, shattering the illusion of impenetrable security. This was no training exercise, no simulated threat. This was a brutal crucible for Israel's air defenses, a test of resilience under fire. Iran deployed Zulfikar and Desful missiles, advanced medium-range ballistic systems capable of maneuvering in their terminal phase and traveling at hypersonic speeds. Their agility and velocity rendered them exceedingly difficult to intercept, even for the most sophisticated defense systems. Compounding the challenge, swarms of kamikaze drones spearheaded the assault, targeting radar installations and missile defense launch sites. Reports indicate that several Iron Dome batteries were temporarily disabled, creating gaps in the defensive shield, allowing subsequent missiles to penetrate with greater ease. Some military analysts suggest this marks the first instance since Iron Dome's operational deployment that the system was forced into a selective targeting mode, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of threats. Last night's attack was more than just a knee-jerk reaction. It signifies a calculated and alarming shift in Iran's military doctrine. Experts believe that Iran's actions reflect a deliberate, phased escalation strategy. The chosen targets were not merely symbolic, they were strategically vital points with the potential to cripple Israel's military and logistical capabilities. Iran employed a complex, multi-layered attack combining medium-range ballistic missiles equipped with modern navigation systems and terminal phase maneuverability. The FATEH-110 ZOLFAGHAR and DEZFULMISSILES, known for their precision and hypersonic speed, were identified among the projectiles. The deployment of drones was equally strategic. The initial wave was designed to saturate and disrupt the defense systems, specifically targeting missile launcher radars and tactical command centers. This explains why systems like Iron Dome and David's Sling were stretched to their breaking point, forced to prioritize targets in a desperate attempt to mitigate the damage. The ramifications of this attack extend far beyond the purely military sphere, reverberating through Israeli society and collective psyche. Significant damage was inflicted upon key military installations, including Ramat David Air Base, a crucial node in Israel's air power projection. The Haifa industrial zone suffered a massive explosion, triggering a widespread conflagration. Power outages plagued several areas, the result of damage to critical distribution substations. The underground transportation system in Tel Aviv was temporarily suspended for 2 hours, a direct consequence of a missile strike in a sensitive urban area. The human cost was stark and undeniable. Preliminary reports indicate that at least 11 people were killed and over 150 injured, many critically. Hospitals in Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Ashkelon operated under emergency conditions throughout the night, struggling to cope with the influx of casualties. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, the Israeli Prime Minister convened an emergency session of the National Security Council. In a pre-dawn address to the nation, he condemned the attack as a direct act of war, an unprovoked provocation that would not go unanswered. Yet, as of this morning, Israel has not launched a direct retaliation retaliatory strike against Iranian territory. Sources indicate that Tel Aviv is actively consulting with Washington regarding potential courses of action. The United States has reaffirmed its unwavering support for Israel, including the possibility of deploying additional defense systems to the eastern Mediterranean region. However, domestic pressure on the Israeli government is mounting. Opposition factions are seizing upon the incident as evidence of a reckless and overly aggressive foreign policy, detrimental to domestic stability. Many are pointing to the recent Israeli airstrike on Tehran as the primary catalyst for this dangerous escalation. Across the region, tensions are reaching a fever pitch. Hezbollah in Lebanon has raised its alert status to maximum readiness. Pro-Iranian militias in Syria and Iraq are reportedly consolidating their forces, preparing for potential involvement. In Yemen, the Houthi group issued a statement of solidarity with Iran, vowing to open a new front in the Red Sea should the conflict escalate further. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, while refraining from publicly taking sides, are urging de-escalation and advocating for a diplomatic resolution. However, they are facing increasing pressure from domestic opposition groups who view their silence in the face of the Iranian attack as emboldening regional aggression. Turkey and Qatar are actively pushing for emergency peace talks, seeking to avert a wider conflagration. Meanwhile, Russia and China are calling for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, but so far, no concrete decisions have emerged that can effectively prevent further escalation. The attacks of June 15th to 16th, 2025 transcend a mere military incident. They serve as a stark reminder of how quickly regional stability can unravel, how dramatically the geopolitical landscape can shift in a matter of hours. Israel, long confident in the superiority of its defense systems, is now confronted with the sobering reality that even the most advanced technologies have their limits. Iran, having operated in the shadows through its proxies for years, has now signaled its willingness to engage openly, despite the inherent risks. The central question now is whether the international community can prevent this escalation from spiraling out of control. And for the Middle East, the question is even more urgent. Have we entered the opening stages of a far more expansive and devastating conflict? This is Goba Military. Subscribe for more real-time battlefield breakdowns and tactical deep dives.